So, hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss regarding the sedimentation and the sedimentation tank, and we will be discussing the design features of sedimentation tank. So, let's start. The first thing that comes to our mind is what is sedimentation. So, the suspended particles that may be present in water, they get settled down. They can settle down due to their high density or their specific gravity. If the specific gravity of the suspended particle is greater than one, then in that case, it will settle down at the bottom of the sedimentation tank. So the purpose of sedimentation is to remove those suspended particles that are settling in the nature. So with the help of this sedimentation, the sand, silt, or any other suspended particle can be removed. But here we are talking about the particular fine particles. They may be fine, they may be very fine. So we have to reach to that, and we have to find out what kind of particle it is, what is the size of the particle, what is the shape of the particle. Then only we can decide what kind of sedimentation process we have to uh, take upon. So with the help of the sedimentation, we can remove all such suspended particles. Now the sedimentation is maybe of two types. It may be plain sedimentation or it may be sedimentation, coagulation aided sedimentation. In plain sedimentation, we can uh, we can remove the particles which are fine in nature like sand, silt. But in coagulation aided sedimentation, um, we all here also the suspended particles are removed, but they are very fine in nature. As in, we have to add some coagulants like alum to remove them. So yeah, this is. So I was talking about the plain sedimentation and sedimentation with coagulation. So yes, so in plain sedimentation, most of the impurities get removed. Most of the suspended impurities that may be present in water, they settle down and they are removed. As I told you earlier, the particles which are larger in size, which are having specific gravity more than one, they will ultimately settle down. They are having high density. They will settle down under the action of gravity only. We don't need any external force to make them settle down at the bottom. But in case the efficiency of the sedimentation, plain sedimentation, is not much, then in that case what we do is we add some coagulants like alum. I already mentioned in the previous slide. We add alum, we add any other coagulant to it, due to which the size of the particle increases. That means the density of particle increase, and then it settle down and it is being removed from the water. So in this process, coagulation aided sedimentation, in this process, microorganisms can also be removed. Some of the bacteria can also be removed in this process. Then after this, we have the objectives. What are the objectives of plain sedimentation? Talking about the plain sedimentation, the main objective is to settle down the suspended impurities of water and to remove them. Okay. After that, we can say that in this process, what we do is firstly, the water, there is an inflow of water. Okay. The moment the water flows into the tank, it is being stored there, okay, for some time, and then these particles which are having the specific gravity more than one, they get settled down at the bottom of the sedimentation tank. Then it is taken out from the sludge zone, and that sludge that is being retained at the bottom, it is again used as manure or any other. It is again treated upon, and then it is again used as a manure for the irrigation purposes. That depends on the type of waste you are getting. So yes, this is what it is. And then the settlement of particle, it depends upon the velocity of water that flows into the sedimentation tank. It depends on the viscosity of water. It depends on the shape and size of the particle. If the size of particle is more, it will obviously settle down at the bottom because there will be more density of particle. If the velocity of water is more, Then also the settlement will be good if the particle is larger in size, but if it is finer enough, then in that case we need coagulants, or it may leave the sedimentation tank, escape the sedimentation tank and move on to the other process, which is filtration. So this is what it is, what it depends on. So then okay, when the particles that are to be removed are bigger in size, uh, wherein we need to reduce the turbulence of water, as in we need to reduce the flow velocity of water. Due to the flow of water, what happens is the layers of water keep on changing, right? So due to which there is a certain vibration of water in this process. Okay, there will be turbulence. Due to turbulence, particle won't settle down. If you will reduce the velocity, or if you will reduce the turbulence of water, what will happen? Particle will move down and settle down at the bottom. In this case, this plain sedimentation is recommended when we can reduce the turbulence of water and then we can make them settle down at the bottom. As in that case, plain sedimentation is much recommended. So yes, after this, now how this sedimentation tank should be like. Okay, so the main definition of sedimentation tank is that it is a basin in which the water is being stored for some time, or we can say it is also known as the settling tank. Okay, so it is also known as sedimentation tank or clarifier, where the water gets clarified to some extent. So yes, so the average time, or we can say the theoretical average time for which the water is retained or detained in this tank, that is known as detention time. It is one of the most important theoretical time that we need to calculate in order to find out what should be the settling time for water. So then, now these sedimentation basins are usually made of concrete. They are concrete based. They are made of reinforced concrete. The size of the shape of this sedimentation tank can either be rectangular or circular. It depends. Okay, so it can either be circular in plan or be in rectangular in plan. After that, a plain sedimentation, if you go for plain sedimentation under normal conditions, it may remove 70% of the suspended impurities, which means only 30% will be left, which can be removed by flocculation or filtration, okay, by the other processes that may take place in the treatment. So yes, 70% of the suspended impurities are removed by this process, by plain sedimentation. Then after this, we have we are we are having some of the most important terms that we will use frequently. The first one being surface loading or overflow velocity. So the overflow velocity is the discharge per unit area, okay, and it ranges between 500 to 750 liters per hour per meter square of plan area, okay, which may be rectangular or circular. By the way, it is different for both of them, okay. So yeah, normal velocity range is from 500 to 750 if you take. After that we have inlet and outlet zone that you may go through in this. Now this inlet and outlet zone is present over here, which is inlet will be at the entrance and outlet will be at the exit of the sedimentation tank. And it should be designed in such a way that there is no short circuiting. What is this short circuiting all about? See, whenever water flows into the sedimentation tank, the flow should be the this flow should be continuous and uniform. It should not stop anywhere. Like it should, the velocity of water should not be such that it increases at some point, and at some point it is getting decreased. So in that sense, there will be a kind of fluctuation in the flow, which will cause a lot of problem in this. So in that case, what will happen is, if there will be any discontinuity in the flow of water, short circuiting will take place. Okay, that turbulence, or we can say the fluctuation due to the um, uh, discontinuity in the velocity of water, or discontinuity in the flow of water, may cause short circuiting. So for the Efficient removal of sediment in sedimentation tank, it is necessary that the flow is uniformly distributed throughout the tank. So yes, that is what short circuiting is all about. Then is detention time. What is detention time? Detention time is that period of time wherein the water is being detained in the sedimentation tank. In this period of time, what happens is the particles get settled down in the tank, and in this way the suspended ones are removed. Okay, so this is the detention time. Okay, talking about I discussed about the overflow rate of overflow, or we can say surface loading or overflow velocity. It is the velocity with which the water is flowing into the tank, and it reaches the point where the settling velocity is uh, lesser than overflow velocity, wherein the water will flow out of the tank. Okay, so it is that saturation point up to which the water flows into the tank and it doesn't flow over the tank. So yeah. After this, we have the classification of sedimentation tank. Now the sedimentation tank is classified into two main categories, and that is quiescent type and the continuous type. In quiescent type, when we talk about this type of sedimentation tank, its detention time that I talked about in the previous slide, the period during which the water remains in the sedimentation tank, that detention time is around 24 hours, which is much less. Then the cleaning interval is 8 to 12 hours. It takes a lot of time to clean that tank. Then it is designed for maximum daily flow of around 1.8. Okay, so 1.8 is the discharge. Okay, so it is designed for only such capacity. Then we have continuous type. This continuous type is further divided into horizontal flow tanks, that they are also known as rectangular tanks, and then the second one is vertical flow tanks. They are also known as circular tanks. Okay, so talking about rectangular tanks, we are making when we go for the design of horizontal tanks, or we can say rectangular tanks, we make a few assumptions. The first one being the particle is removed the moment it reaches the base of the settling tank, that is the bottom of the settling tank. Okay, at that point of time we say that the particle gets removed. Okay, then the second assumption that we are making is that the concentration of suspended particles of any size is same at all vertical cross section. Means the concentration is uniform everywhere. There is nothing like at this point the concentration of suspended particle is more, and that point is at this corner it's less. No, we are assuming that it's same everywhere. Okay, so these two assumptions are we are making for the design of horizontal sedimentation tank. Okay, after this, what we do is I have, so this is a picture of a rectangular sedimentation tank wherein we have, this is the inflow. The water is flowing into the inlet. It's an inlet of sedimentation tank over here. Water is flowing into the tank. So this is the horizontal velocity. Okay, the water is flowing in this way. We are using the vector quantity in this. Okay, so this is the horizontal velocity, and this is supposed to be the settling velocity, the velocity with which the particles will settle down at the bottom of the tank. This h represents the height of the tank, or we can say the depth of the water, and L is the length of the tank. So here Vh is the horizontal velocity, or we can say the flow velocity, and Vs is the settling velocity. Okay. Um, okay. After this, we have Okay, now the time of horizontal flow that I was talking about in the last picture that I told you, that this is the VH is the velocity of horizontal, okay, horizontal velocity, or we can say flow velocity. Now talking about the time that water takes to flow inside the tank, or we can say the horizontal flow. Time of horizontal flow can be given by L upon VH. What's VH? VH is the horizontal velocity. After this, we this velocity VH is the horizontal velocity. This horizontal velocity is equal to discharge upon B into H. It's a normal formula that we use for velocity, that is discharge upon area. B into H. B is the width of the tank, and H is the depth of water. Okay, moving on. So this will be time of horizontal flow will be equal to LBH upon Q, length into breadth into height upon Q. LBH is the area volume. Okay, volume upon discharge. So talking about the detention time, this detention time is equal to volume upon the discharge. Okay, DT, detention time is volume upon discharge, or we can say capacity of the sedimentation tank upon the discharge. After this, now the time of falling through height edge. I was talking about the time of horizontal flow, how much time it is taking to flow inside the tank. So horizontally, it is the horizontal flow of the tank. Then time of falling through height, as it is falling from top to bottom, and the height of the tank is h. So how much time it is going to take from top to the bottommost level of the sedimentation tank. That time is denoted by T, small t, and it is given by the total height, that is h, upon Vs. Vs is the settling velocity, as I have already shown you in the previous slide. Vs is the settling velocity with which the water suspended particles settle down at the bottom. Okay, then if we take the first assumption that I already discussed with you, what was the first assumption? The assumption was the particle, once the particle reaches the bottom, it settles down and it is removed. Okay, if we take that assumption into consideration, in that case, this time of falling through height ht will be equal to the detention time. Okay, so t is equal to dt. So this equation will come out to be dt is equal to lbh upon q, and t is equal to h upon vs, which is already discussed. Okay, then vs will be q upon bl. See, dt and t are equal. If we equate both the equations, we will get a settling velocity. So settling velocity will be q upon bl. But actually, if we go on the actual settling velocity equation, it is equal to this. So what are we doing with this? Vs is equal to q upon bl. We always use this formula for finding out the overflow rate that I was already talking about. VO. VO denotes overflow rate, and VO is equal to Q upon VL. So whenever we find out we have to find out the rate of overflow, we go with this equation. Okay, we always use this equation for designing the horizontal sedimentation tank. Okay, moving on. Um, So the surface overflow rate that I was talking about, it can be, it can be taken as settling velocity of that particle only if it is introduced at the topmost point of inlet, and it will reach the bottommost point of outlet. So whenever the particle at the topmost point is settling down at the bottommost point of the sedimentation tank, in that case we can say that the rate of overflow is equal to the settling velocity. Okay, we can take it as overflow velocity. I am giving you a situation where the particle at the out topmost corner is settling down at the bottommost layer of the sedimentation tank. In that case only we can say that VO is Vs. Okay. So if this I was talking about VO is equal to Vs. In that case, I gave you the formula. What is it all about? Okay. Wait. So in case this Vs, the settling velocity is lesser than rate of overflow, then in that case, particle will get completely removed. If overflow velocity, or we can say settling velocity, is lesser than overflow. If settling velocity is lesser than overflow velocity, that means it won't settle down at all. Like settling velocity is very less, that means the forces acting on the particle from downward forces, sorry, upward forces acting on the particle will be more. The water itself exerts some force on the particle that is coming down. Okay, so it will exert some force on it. When it's exerting the force, if the settling velocity will be less, it won't be able to overcome that force, so it will never settle down. That means it will be lesser than the overflow velocity. If the overflow velocity, matlab the water with which the water with sorry the velocity with which the water is coming inside the tank. Okay. uh, if that velocity is greater than settling velocity, then in that case the particles won't settle. If the settling velocity is greater than overflow velocity, in the sense that the particles are settling at a very high speed, then then the velocity of water that is coming inside the tank, the overflow velocity, and in that case it will completely settle down and we can remove them. Okay. So this is the numerical part that I'm going to discuss today. Okay, the numerical is, you have to design a suitable sedimentation tank for a town whose daily demand is 12 million liter per day. The tank is fitted with a mechanical scrapper for sludge removal. Okay, assuming the detention period as 5 hours and velocity of flow as 20 centimeter per second. So we are given with the water demand, daily demand. Okay, so the quantity of water, the discharge of water is given. So we can say the quantity of water to be treated is given. Okay, the quantity of water to be treated is 12 million liter per day. Okay, if you want to change it, it is million. I'm taking it as 12 into 10 raised power 6 liter per day. Then if you want to convert it to meter cube per day, which is like we have to keep it in meter cube per hour. Okay, so in that case I came up with 12 into 10 raised power 3 upon 24, which is 500 meter cube per day. So moving on, we got the quantity of water. After this, what else is given? Tank is fitted with a mechanical scrapper for sludge removal. Assume detention period as 5 hours. So I have taken detention period as 5 hours is given. So dt is given and velocity of flow is also given. So velocity is given to us. Then the capacity of tank can be found out. Capacity will be the total quantity of water multiplied by time, right? For how much time the water will remain in the tank and how much water it has to intake will give the total capacity or total volume of the tank. So multiplying the both, we can get the capacity. So we got the capacity. What else do we need? Actually, we need length, breadth, height. These three things are important for us. Then only we can find out the overflow rate of overflow or detention period. Sorry, detention period is already given. Then we can find out the overflow rate or settling velocity. Okay. So in order to find out that, we need L, B, and H. That is length of the tank. H is the depth of water or height of tank. B is the width of tank. Okay, so we got the capacity. Volume is given to you. Okay, the next thing that we need to do is detention period is also given to you. The next thing that we need to do is uh, velocity. Okay, velocity is already given to you, that is 20 centimeter per minute. We have changed into meters, that is okay 2 meter per minute. So what will we do is, so the length of tank uh, required, length we have to find out. No, length is, it will be equal to velocity into detention time, right? As I already told you in the previous equation also, that the velocity sorry time of flow is equal to what, horizontal velocity upon length. So length will be velocity into detention time or time. Okay, so velocity will be is 0.2. Okay, and detention time, what is detention time? 5. Detention time was 5 hours. So I have changed it into minutes. So this will be 0.2 into 5 into 60, which is 60 meter. So length also came into the picture. After this I have to find out B. For finding out B, you can either use the formula volume is equal to L into B into H. You have to find out B. For finding out B, you will do one thing, that is B is equal to volume upon L into H. Either you can go with this, or what we can do is we can find out the cross sectional area of the tank, which will be length of tank into volume of tank. So sorry, volume of tank divided by length of tank. So volume is also given, capacity of tank is given, length of tank is we have found out. So here we came with the cross sectional area. After that, we have to assume water depth. We have assumed it to be 3.5 meter. It depends what kind of tank you are designing. We always keep it as 3.5 meter. So the width of tank will be, we have assumed water depth assume curly. The width of tank required will be this cross sectional area divided by 3.5. Okay, so we got the width of tank also. Okay, B is also there for you. So we got L into B into H. So we take a freeboard of 0.5 meter for the overall depth. Actually, the overall depth of the tank can be uh, including the depth of sludge also, that sludge part also. So we always take this factor as of 0.5. So the depth of tank will be 3.5 plus 0.5. 3.5 was already given. If we add this up, it will come up to be 4 meters. So we can provide a tank of 60 into 12 into 4 meter. Surface loading, the formula for surface loading is Q upon LB. Q discharge is given. Okay. L you found out. B also we found out. So 60 into 12, this will be 16.66 meter cube per meter square per day, which is under the limits. Surface loading is 16.66. And what was the uh, quantity of water, discharge of water? You have to compare the two. Okay. In that case, it is within the limits. Okay, so this is the another question that we have to do. We are running out of time. Let's finish it. Okay, the question is, design a continuous horizontal flow rectangular tank for water supply scheme having capacity to treat water 10 million liter per day. Here also, this is not given, only this part is given. You are given with 10 milliliter million liter per day. Capacity is only given to you. Amount of water to be treated is given to you. You have to find out the capacity of the tank as well. For that, you need the detention period. So we are assuming detention time to be 5 hours, which should be 4 to 8. We have taken 5. Velocity of flow is taken 0.2 meter per second. It can be 0.515 to 0.30 meter per second. It depends. Then water depth should be 3.5 meter. The limit is 3 to 6. So we are taking 3.5. You can take 4, you can take 5 as well. Then freeboard, as I already told you, we have taken 0.5. It's like a clearance factor. Okay. It is a similar question. Similarly, we have to find the quantity of water that we are given with quantity of water that is to be treated. Then we have converted it. Then we have found out the capacity of tank, which is Q into detention time, which is already assumed in the question. After that we have this velocity of flow, which we assume to be 0.2 meter per second. In this way, we can find out the length of tank. Similarly, we will find out the cross-sectional area of the tank. Using this cross-sectional area, we will find out the width of the tank that is required. So we are done with the area, sorry, the volume of tank, taking the freeboard of 0.5. So this will be the mm, tank to be provided. Okay, required tank. And rate of overflow is again 16.66 in this question as well. So it's within the limit. I hope the session was fruitful to you. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, you can ask me. And in the next lecture, we will be discussing the further processes that the water goes through for the treatment, wherein we will discuss about the filtration processes and the theory of filtration. Okay, and uh, theory of filtration and the disinfection part, wherein we'll discuss the various disinfections that we use, and moreover we will talk about the coagulation and flocculation and the coagulants that we use for it, for the cleaning of water, for the treatment of water. That's it. Thank you so much. I hope this was fruitful. Have a good one. Bye bye.